wish I was good enough to do that, but I'm not, unfortunately. It wasn't a plan though. Our plan was just like always to be near the front of the swim and then hopefully be in a small group on the bike. I didn't want it to be that small. I'd rather have a group of 6, 7, but it was a hard race.
Well, we always expect a very tough race. That's how it's been since the beginning. It's been a pretty wild swim, but I think I've managed to exit the water in a decent position. I worked all I could on the bike. I knew that if I wanted to have any chance to be on the podium, that's what I had to do. So yeah, it was a very fast 10K. Johnny, it's been unbelievable today. He worked like an animal on the bike, and then he's been able to run as good as the best runner. So I think it's congrats to him. Congrats also to Javi and Vicente. They've done a great race, and yeah, we'll go to the next one, hoping for a good race like this one.
It wasn't the swim they expected. Yeah, it was my fault. I was behind Pierre, and I didn't know there was a gap. Because I couldn't really see, and when I came out of the water and saw it, I knew it was going to be tough because there were 4 guys at the front, 4 strong cyclists, and yeah, my bike wasn't great, and on the run I struggled a little bit the first 2 laps, and then I felt better towards the end, and I could secure a 3rd place, which is always good, but definitely not my best race ever. First of all, I didn't feel very strong today on the bike. I worked as much as I could, but I wasn't really powerful. But like always, there are a lot of guys that looks like they don't care about the race and they don't do anything to change how the race goes or to try to catch another group or do something. So it's always the same 3, 4 guys working and the others just sitting behind.
This is my first WTS race in over 2.5 years. I mean, it's actually 3 years prior to London Olympics since I've raced at this level. So I knew it would be not a shock, but I knew it was going to be challenging, and I've kind of raced D grade, B grade, and you know, this is the first shot at A grade, but you know, I've probably exceeded my expectations, and my main goal was just to make sure I was in the mix of the Australians, top Australians, and I would have loved to have been the first Aussie, but just to be there in the mix to go, well, that's a shout out to, you know, can still go all right, and maybe should get a shot at selections and that type of thing. So that was the main goal, but the best thing that came out of it was I got off and ran with the, you know, the front guys for 3.5, well, probably 4K, which, like, with how quickly I've come up to that standard that quickly, it's just that was a big confidence booster.
I guess you could always expect those guys to do really well, but for me, just really need to work on my swim, getting it up there so I can kind of come out closer up and do a bit less work on the bike and be with some more dedicated guys and kind of be able to put the run legs into the race that I know that I have. And when people are happy enough to kind of settle for 40th, 50th, it's not good enough. You need to be able to put your ass into gear and chase. So I don't know what some people are thinking.
To tell you the truth, it was a battle the whole way. Just didn't have the legs today, really. It was a real flat race, just flat feeling from the whole way, and yeah, there's a lot of positives to take out of it, but yeah, it's not too bad now to go in a bit of a training block and look forward to Yokohama next. Obviously I'll skip Cape Town and get a bit of work done. Yeah, I would have expected a bigger group up the front today, to tell you the truth. I think it whittled down to about 3 coming off the bike, which is surprising, but it just shows how hard the Brownlee that Johnny rides. Not many can go with him.
Not too bad. You know, it wasn't a blazer, but it wasn't terrible either. The swim, you know, I wasn't particularly happy with that, but you know, we got out there on the bike and worked pretty hard. You know, there was a lot of us pulling turns. Those boys up the front were putting time into us, but we sort of, you know, once sort of myself and Bailey and you know, Gomez and Knowles sort of started rolling, we brought them back, so it wasn't too much of a gap by the end of the bike. And then T2 was a bit average. Got a bit swamped there. I was looking at Woods to take the T2 cream for our bunch at one stage, but yeah, lost a bit of time there, and the run was okay. I sort of built in all right, and then faded. It was like a bell curve actually. So yeah, you know, it wasn't too bad.
I had a reasonably good swim, and I was the person that made the split, that had left that split, and we were sort of off the back a little bit, but we rode hard and we ended up catching most of them except for that lead 3 or 4 off the front. So yeah, and it was down to the run, and the run's coming, but yeah, it's not quite there.